guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a massive book haul. I have been basically just hoarding these books all summer. I was doing monthly book hauls there for a little while, but I kind of just like let it get away from me. I wasn't keeping track of them. So now we're just gonna do a massive one and talk about every single book that I've bought over the past few months. There are a lot of indie books here that I'm like super excited to talk about. There are so many new authors that I've like discovered recently. We're just gonna go ahead and talk about all these one by one. Just to preface this, I am not the kind of person to do a whole lot of research into the books that I'm buying. I read based off of vibes alone for the most part. And so a lot of the times I'm going in blind. And so I don't know a whole lot about probably most of these books, except that there was something about them that caught my eye, or a review that I saw that really intrigued me, or, you know, like a quote that I saw here or there. And there are a couple in here that I have actually read already and could give you a review for. So honestly, let's just go ahead and dive into it. There's so many that I'm super excited to talk about. So go ahead and get cozy. This is going to be a cozy, chatty video, and let's get started. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just honestly pick from the top. I do want to talk about one book that I know that I've read already. So let me just find it. There's actually 3 books here that I have already read because I bought it and basically read it like right after I bought it. That's how excited I was to read these. The first one that I am just like incredibly excited to talk about and get out there into the world is The Hidden Magic of Ordinary Things by Olivia Mikola. This book, first of all, the cover is just absolutely stunning. Like, this artwork is just beautiful, and basically the book itself, oh, it got a little dirty. This book is and feels exactly the way that it looks on this cover. So it is definitely more of a cozy romantasy book. It's very short, which makes it a little bit easier to read in like one sitting and fully immerse yourself into the story. And that's probably one of the reasons why I really loved it so much. We're following a girl who is a ward crafter. So basically she has magic and she's able to create and like support wards around towns or cities or areas. And so she has to create the wards and like keep up with them. And so she's tasked at protecting her little town that she's living in. Overall, the story is following her journey as she's basically being doubted by the men of the town, that she's unable to like keep up with the work, unable to protect it just like previous people have done in the past. And you kind of like follow her along those struggles. And then also there's a friends to lovers trope in this, and it was written so beautifully. And the guy, he's definitely like a golden retriever. He's like definitely obsessed with her and is super cute to see. And she's like, you know, warding off all relationships and stuff because she really just needs to focus on basically holding up her own at protecting the town and making sure people don't doubt her anymore. You know, meanwhile, he's like trying to like court her, and they end up doing a bunch of fun, cute things together. And it's just like really sweet, really fun. And this is definitely a very atmospheric book for sure. Very atmospheric. And if you just want to sit down and have a cozy time while also like having a really fun plot, like this is definitely the book for you. I've already recommended this so much to people, and yeah, I absolutely love this book. I talked to the author actually after I posted this on Instagram because I was just so excited about it. And she said that she got picked up by a publisher and they're actually going to revamp this and make it a little bit longer, which I think is awesome because that just means that we get more of these characters and more time in this world. And that's exactly what I want from this. So The Hidden Magic of Ordinary Things, I bought this and read this like immediately. The next one that I actually read fairly recently is Heart of the Fae by Emma Hamm. Now, Emma Hamm is actually a new to me author, but I know that she's been writing romantasy for a while. And I think she like specializes in monster romance. I think that's just like her genre. This is definitely a monster romance. It's really not super spicy at all. Like, I actually thought it was gonna be much spicier than it was. So you're following this girl. She's a midwife. She takes care of her town. She actually lives in a brothel with her sisters, and it's run by her father. The whole scenario and the whole world is basically just like destigmatizing brothels as like dirty places and stuff. Basically, she's like saying that her family are really proud of their work. Her sisters are very proud of their work and they love their work, and there's nothing to stigmatize about it. And I think that's really cool, like a cool take on it. So anyways, we're following her. There's this like whole backstory about these two princes who are twins, and one overthrows the other and like banishes one of them to an island, and then she ends up traveling to an island. There's a lot of like fairies and fae and like making deals with fae and, you know, tricksters and stuff, but it's ultimately a Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I didn't know going into it, but it was, and it's not too much. I'm not a huge retelling fan, but it definitely was not overwhelming or anything, and I did really enjoy it so much that I actually bought the second one, which is Veins of Magic by Emma Hamm, and this is the second one. I'm pretty sure in this one they're going to start, I guess I can't really talk about it, but I think there's gonna be more action in this one, and I'm very excited about that. More action, more magic. And so I think it's just going to expand the world. And yeah, I'm super excited about that. So I bought both of those books recently, and I'm very, very excited about them because Emma Hamm has so many books out, and they're all in Kindle Unlimited. And honestly, I could definitely read like all of her series just because I really enjoy her writing style so far. Okay, oh my God. So this one, The Silversmith by L.J. Claren. This book like took me by storm. I went on a journey. I cried at the end of this book. I don't even know what to say or like how to talk about this book. Basically, you have amnesia trope in this, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it didn't last forever. Like, it was not overwhelming, and it wasn't necessarily like the whole point of the book, so you can kind of get away from it a little bit. You're introduced to this female main character. She is living an ordinary life, and then all of a sudden she finds out that there's this big secret surrounding her and her past, and she goes on a quest, meets a bunch of people and like found family, and meets this brooding warrior who is just like there to protect her, and we just like unravel her past throughout the whole book and find these like really beautiful storylines and stuff that surrounds her. And oh my gosh, like I just absolutely love the story. I love these characters so much. Like I fell in love with these characters from the get-go. Just like super beautiful story, so much that I cried at the end because of the yearning and all of the tribulations and stuff that they go through, especially for the male main character. He just goes through so much just to get where they were, and oh my God, I can't talk about it so much. I just want to ramble and ramble about it because it's just so good. She needs to get picked up by a publisher immediately. Like, this book eats so much. I love this book. And I really, if I had one thing to say about this whole haul, probably it would be to read this book because I just loved it. It's beautiful. And I know a couple of friends of mine like read it and really loved it. And that's why I ended up picking it up. And I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. I don't think there are any more in this pile that I have read. So I'm just going to start picking up from the top, and we'll just go through and I'll tell you like why I bought them, what I'm excited about for them. Okay, so the first one that I want to talk about is Song of the Dark Wood by Sheila Masterson. I really have no idea what it's about, but I saw the paperback cover of this. It's different, and it basically looks like Little Red Riding Hood like walking into the woods. And so if I had to guess, it's like a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, but I mean, don't quote me on that. What I will do is read the back of it. There's like a little quote, I guess. It says, "Before you enter the dark woods, you must learn the rules. Never stray from the main trail. Never meet the eyes of the dead or the monsters that lurk in the shadows. Never bleed in the dark wood. And above all, keep the wolf happy." So it definitely sounds like it would be a Little Red Riding Hood retelling. This is a romantasy. It's an adult romantasy, and it's not very long. It's like 350 to 400 pages. And I saw this definitely on Instagram somewhere, and then I saw it pop up on my Amazon, which they have to be connected somehow, because I swear I'll see reviews on Instagram and then all of a sudden they're like being recommended to me on Amazon. It's kind of weird. So yeah, anyway, so The Song of the Dark Wood, I think this is a Little Red Riding Hood romantasy retelling. And let me just like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop up like the paperback cover here, which is the original one that I saw, and so then you can kind of see like what kind of drew me in. It just looks very gothic, dark woods, you know, kind of creepy, dark romance type of feel, and I just was super intrigued. So I bought it. There's also, I'm noticing there's like some music notes on the top of this or around this cover. So I'm curious what like those are for. But yeah, Song of the Dark Wood, that's one of them. Catabasis by R.F. Kuang. This came in like this week. I am very excited to read this book. This is the beautiful sprayed edged version. I was just at Barnes & Noble the other day and they had these still at the store. But yeah, I don't know what this is about. I just know that R.F. Kuang is an amazing writer and beautiful writing. And I'm pretty sure this is like a dark academia novel. She's a magic wielder at Cambridge. She wants to go work with this, famous professor in the magical world. There's a magical accident that could possibly be her fault. Interesting. And now she's in hell and she's like running after her professor. But hell is not like the storybooks say. Magic isn't always the answer, and there's something in Alice and Peter's past that could force them into the perfect allies or lead to their doom? ? Very cool and exciting, and I'm sure you've seen this around because everybody's freaking out over it, and so that makes me even have more FOMO. But yeah, so I bought this recently. I do plan on reading this. I'm not really sure when I'm going to read it. I might or may not pick it up, this fall or this winter. We'll see. It's definitely screaming like a fall winter read. So yeah, we'll see. This book is also like really hefty. Like this is a heavy book, which, I wouldn't expect any less for an R.F. Kuang book. I've only ever read Yellow Face by her. I do really want to read The Poppy War, I think, but I'm just like nervous that I'm not gonna like it. I don't know why. I just am. All right, next one is The Ravens of London by Ryan Santana. This is a Peaky Blinders inspired romantasy, and I am super excited about that because I love the Peaky Blinders for one. And I also just recently read The Forbidden Alchemy, which is also like a Peaky Blinders vibe type of story, and I absolutely loved it. I was like listening to the Peaky Blinders soundtrack as I was reading it. So this is a Peaky Blinders inspired romantasy. It says, gritty, ruthless, and utterly captivating. The dark gothic fantasy of gods, nightmares, and a city on the brink of ruin. London, 1918. The Great War has ended, but the bloodshed is far from over. 15 centuries ago, Callum Ravenscroft, god of nightmares, was betrayed by his own blood and cast into the void. Now freed from his prison, he returns to a world that has forgotten to fear him, and he is more than willing to remind them. That sounds like very dark villainesque, and I am super excited to read this. So it sounds like a dark villain god who's about to like rain badness on London. I don't know. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. Ravens of London. That was just like, I literally have not heard any or read any reviews on that book. That's just like one of those random Amazon finds. The next one is called The Kindred Folk, and this is definitely a cozy fantasy that I ended up discovering on Instagram. I guess I followed or I found the author on Instagram somehow. I really don't even know how, but I saw this cover and I was just like super intrigued. And it sounds like it's kind of Hobbit inspired. I love The Hobbit. And so I had to like look into it more. I have not even read like a synopsis or anything. I really just bought it. And I was just like, one, I was really excited to support the author because she's definitely a smaller author. And I love the, the artwork and the vibes that she was like kind of posting stuff on Instagram. So I didn't really feel like I even needed to read the synopsis, but I will read it. I'll read it for you. Once the city of the sun lived. Once the streets themselves moved underfoot, rippling like grass in the wind to help hasten slow-moving carts along the thoroughfares. The tiles of mosaic city walls rearranged themselves in patterns to tell stories of the gods so children would not grow weary on long journeys. Once the trees laughed, they spoke, they sang. Once the fires in the thetes kept themselves, without the Dama walking each morning to light them before first dawn. Tannen remembers when the white ships in the harbor once knew the paths of the sky better than the mariners. She remembers this world would have all been hers. All of the vales would have been hers. Atain Elvesia, as she was called at birth, had been born to inherit the world. Then her brother was born to rule it. Interesting. Maybe it's not a cozy fantasy. Like that kind of seems a little high fantasy-esque almost. So that's curious. Yeah, I really truly know not a whole lot about this, and that's like what makes me most excited about it. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous book. The author's name is KJ Mallory. She has a beautiful Instagram, very cozy Instagram, and it's all just like green and happiness, and that's what makes me happy. So yeah, that's one of the books that I'm probably most excited about reading, just because I've kind of followed her for a little while, and I'm excited just to like get to know like what it's all about. The next book that I got is Peter S. Beagle's The Innkeeper's Song. And this one I saw at Book People like multiple times. Like every time I went there, I would see it and I would kind of carry this around, and I would always end up putting it back because I found another book that I wanted to get instead or something. I ended up just buying it last time I was there because I couldn't stop thinking about it. I think it was during my 24-hour readathon. I literally went to Book People that day to buy this book so that I could read it in the readathon, and I ended up not reading it. Essentially, I'm pretty sure you're like in an innkeeper's point of view, and these three mysterious women who are on the cover show up to his inn and like stir up some drama, and they're all like very mysterious and nobody really knows why they're there or what their story is, and I'm pretty sure that all kind of like unfolds within the story. So one, I'm curious if it only takes place in the inn. I wonder if it goes out anywhere else. And two, Peter St. Beagle is like a very, very well-known author, and he writes a lot of fantasy, a lot of high fantasy books. And I read one of his really cute like dragon books. I think it's called I Heard You Have Dragons or something. But he read like The Lost Unicorn, and yeah, I really love his writing style. It's very cozy. But honestly, it was the cover that really intrigued me in the premise, and it kind of reminds me or gives me The Witcher vibes, like just like them all just like in an inn, all looking mysterious and stuff, and a whole bunch of stories behind them. And yeah, I'm just like really excited to discover what this is all about. There's also a fox on a leash, which is just really interesting. Looks like there's an assassin, a magician, like a Robin Hood style person almost. And yeah, I'm just excited. So let me just read the back. On a night like any other, three mysterious women arrive at an inn separately, one with a fox that is more than it seems, and Karsh, the innkeeper, has no choice but to let the tangled drama that follows them unfold beneath his roof. His stable boy, Roseth, is so mesmerized by the three cloaked women, a warrior nun, a fabled adventurer, and the girl who's drowned and yet saved, that he soon finds a way to uncover what is, perhaps their deepest secret. And then there's Tit Kat, overwhelmed by tragedy, who continues his journey to the end, refusing to let death bring an end to his love. Yeah, that just sounds really good. I feel like you're going to have a bunch of POVs in this book, and that's like one of my favorites. The next one is The Fallen and the Kiss of Dusk by Carissa Broadbent. This is just a continuation of the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which is a vampire series. And I can't say a whole lot about this one because this is the second book in this duology, but it's basically just a continuation of it. The first one, you're following a vampire when she has to travel down into hell, and she has to find help for that, and the guy that she finds help with helps people pass through death. And it was really good. I really liked the first one, so I had to go buy the second one, of course, and continue that series. Now, Carissa Broadbent, she is a very solid author. I really loved her Daughter of No World series, like absolutely loved that series so much. And I did not really love The Serpent and the Wings of Night as much as I thought I would, but this duology I do really, really enjoy. I really liked it, mainly just because of the characters. I think Miche and the mailman character, whatever his name is, like I just loved their characters very much. They were easy to fall in love with. The next one is Of Blood and Aether by Harper Hawthorne. This is a popular book talk, Bookstagram, like Romantasy book that was going around. It got pretty popular at some point last year, and I truly don't know anything about it. I really don't. And what I will do is I'll read a little bit of the back. But I'm just like so intrigued. Like I've only ever heard incredible reviews about this book. So it says, for as long as she can remember, Arkin Asher has been searching for answers. Driven by an insatiable hunger, a need to understand the meaning behind her dangerous arcane secrets, she's finally taken that leap into the unknown, leaving her simple life behind to attend Arcane Studium, a prestigious college of magical arts and sciences nestled in the heart of Seraphony, or Sirosoph. I am not going to be able to say that name. The City of the Gods. So it's actually an academic setting, which is interesting. I had no idea. As the scouting and reconnaissance captain of Elder Guard Kieran Vistari deals in shadows, blood, and subterfuge, scarred by his past, but dedicated to safeguarding Sophroniscene's future, Kieran's self-imposed isolation is easily masked by charm and cocksure energy. Strange disappearances have kept his cadre busy as of late, and yet the captain finds himself sidetracked, distracted by the inexplicable allure of a certain golden-eye conduit in her curious mind. Guys, I want to read this book really soon. This sounds good, like really, really good. They both know better than to get involved, but the fates have other plans. The dark threads of prophecy were woven long ago, and the ties that bind just might be what it takes to mend these broken, star-crossed souls, or what forges a deadly bond that could damn them all. Dang, that sounds good. I'm really excited about that book. I've had that book on my TBR for a while, like ever since I saw it out in the world. We'll continue our popular book talk fantasy romance books, and this one I've talked about recently on here. It's A Tongue So Sweet and Deadly, and this is the first book in a trilogy that people are very, very excited about recently. A lot of people are talking about this. I don't know very much about it. On the top here it says, a half fae, Alicia could have had everything, literally. Since her magic allows her to compel anyone to do her bidding by merely looking into their eyes, the world was at her feet. That's pretty crazy. But after a tragic accident, she's thrown to the Fae's King's dungeons and forced to swear a blood oath to him, binding her to his service. And from that, I know that she is asked to go into, I think, the human world and like become a part of like human politics or something and spy on the humans for this king. And I have heard this be compared to the Throne of Glass. I've heard it, not like the storyline and the plot necessarily, but like the feelings that they got while reading it were those of how they felt when they read Throne of Glass, which, like, say no more. Like, I'm there for that. So I immediately picked this up. And then I also recently saw Emmy Rossum read it, and she really loved it too. And everybody says that the second book is better than first, but the first is still like very good. That's all I need to know. There's a snake all over this book too, if you can see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just very intrigued. Wow, guys, we have so many good books here. Like, so many good books. Let's pick from this deck. I told you guys that I had so many good indie books too. Like, I'm pretty sure the rest of these, except for one, are all indie books. Okay, so these guys, you guys have already seen a lot of my channel. These I'm very, very excited about. I have The Burning Witch by Delamock and The House Witch by her. Both of these are super, super cozy looking fall reads that I've heard just incredible things from you guys about these books, which is making me even more excited to read them. These have been on my Kindle Unlimited, like, to be read list on Kindle for a very long time. Very, very, very long time. And I finally found them in Barnes & Noble, which is just like absolutely crazy to me because I never thought that these were going to get picked up. If they were, I still don't even know. It says Podium as like the publisher, but I don't know what that means as far as like if it was actually picked up by a publisher or not. I should probably do more research on this, but truly, I don't know, guys. I don't think that much into it, but yeah, I found these and I love them. You guys said that you love them, so I am super excited to get into these. And what I do know is that they're cozy romantasy books that follow, I think, different people. And The Burning Witch specifically follows a girl, and she's like paired up with her best friend's brother or something to go on this quest, and they end up probably falling in love. And then the next one that I got was The House Witch. This one, it says, a heartwarming and humorous blend of fantasy, romance, and a mystery featuring a witch with domestic powers and the royal household. Yeah, this one seems probably a little bit more cozy than The Burning Witch, but I'm just like incredibly excited to start those. One of them, or The House Witch, is on my TBR this month, so we'll see if I get to that. I have no doubt I'm going to read it this fall. I just don't know if I'm going to get to it this month. All right, and then the next one I've actually seen. So it's so crazy because I saw this book one time on Bookstagram. I saw one of my friends read it as an ARC, and she loved it so much. And she's a big outdoorsy girl like myself, and this definitely seems like it has a very like forest themed, outdoorsy themed premise to it, which is why I immediately bought it, because it just sounds like right up my alley. And it's called, Child of Chauvet by J.R. Cathers. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody else talk about it. So the back of it, it says, 200 years ago, when mortals hunted the Fae towards extinction, the ancients surrendered the veils of terror, fracturing their world into 5 realms. Many fled beyond the veil of war, and of those who remained, not all did so with benevolent intentions. Shavira is an elite assassin of the crown, forged through brutal training for a single purpose, in the life of the Fae King. Upon foreign shores, seeking to fulfill her mission, she discovers a realm steeped in ancient power, forgotten truths, and whispered legends that defy everything she was taught. When she finds herself bound to the King's general, sought by the Fae in the northern woods, unearthing the hidden truths of her world, Shiveria is thrust into a choice that will define her fate. Follow the path she has always known or endure a breaking that will set her on a course destined by the fates. So yeah, it just sounds really good. The cover is super intriguing. I love anything about Fae, and I'm pretty sure that the girl that I got this recommendation from said it was like kind of Lord of the Rings-esque. So yeah, say less. Very excited about that one. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more to talk about. The next one is called Darkness Births the Stars by Sarah Lee Wan. This book is very pretty, and I've seen this kind of popping around a lot recently on Bookstagram. There's kind of a theme here. I've seen a lot of these on Bookstagram. I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm pretty sure that there's like shadow magic, assassins. This girl here looks like she's got maybe some fire magic. She's holding a knife to this like dark Fae warrior's throat. So, you know, that's a little intriguing. And it is a romantasy. And right here it already says that there's forbidden love trope and gods. So I'll read a little bit of the back here. This is also a very heavy book. Their forbidden love tore the world apart. Now 2 broken gods might be the only ones able to heal it. Haunted by his past and the evil forces he commanded, Noidus, once the god of darkness, cannot forget Rheda, the former goddess of light and the queen who ruled at his brother's side. Condemned to morality, thought dead to the whole world, Noidus craves one last meeting. Stripped of her magic and exiled for treason, Rheda has built an idyllic new life on a farm at the edges of the realm, but her peace is shattered one stormy night when Noidus, the enemy who has caused her downfall, the lover she betrayed in turn, appears at her door, wounded and desperate. That sounds so good. Inspired by Nordic mythology, this first book in a series follows star-crossed lovers, their fall from grace, and their quest for redemption. Sizzling, tension-filled romance, high stakes, magical battles, and morally great characters make this the perfect read for fans of Guild, The Cruel Prince, The Book of Azrael, and When the Moon Hatched. This book sounds very, very good. And I have only heard raving reviews about it. So yeah, very excited for this one. Very different. This is Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. You guys might have seen in my last vlog, I read the Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands, which is the second book in this trilogy, and this is the third. I literally bought this as I was reading the second one because I just completely forgot how cozy these books were. It doesn't have to be read in like fall, springtime, or I'm sorry, in like springtime, summertime, which is kind of what I was like thinking in my mind. You definitely don't, because the last one was very fall, autumnal vibes. I have no idea what this is about, but I can only imagine it's just a continuation of Wendell and Emily's adventures, and I need more of them. So I bought it, and now I have this beautiful set of all 3 of the hardbacks, which just like makes me very happy. So I bought this one recently. The next one that I have is an indie published book called Enchanter's Tale by Beatrix Grin. This does not have a premise on the back. It just has a picture of her and her cute little kid. I don't really know anything about this book at all. So I looked up the description for this book, and it says, it's a duology. A young light enchanter discovers her connection to dangerous shadow forces while seeking mentorship, forcing her to confront her true identity and harness mysterious powers. Reddick struggles to secure a paying job before she turns 16. Living under the oppressive roof of her scheming siblings, the only thing she can hold on to is her hope. Her curiosity to explore what seems to be trapped within her leads to a fateful encounter with a mysterious tradesman. While he sells her a promising stone, a hidden path toward becoming a light enchanter begins to unfold. Interesting. A must-read for fantasy fans, sharp writing, rich humor, and a compelling story that keeps you hooked from start to finish. Yeah, that's really exciting. I don't know if this is actually a romantasy at all, but I think it's more of like a fantasy quest, it sounds like, and like coming of age story almost. It kind of sounds like it might be a YA. I'm not really sure, but either way, it's not very long. The cover is super intriguing to me, which is why it like caught my eye originally. And I love any type of like quest story, any type of like discovering your magic and like honing in your magic and stuff. Like some of those stories are are some of my favorites. So I bought this one recently and I am excited to start that. The next one is a book I'm super excited about. Also, I want to own every single one of these because they're so beautiful. This is To Bleed a Crystal Bloom by Sarah A. Parker. This, I think, is a trilogy, and Sarah A. Parker, if you don't know, wrote When the Moon Hatched, which blew up and took the internet by storm last year. I love that book. Absolutely adore that whole series and how it unfolds, and I have been just like dying to get to the second book and just like waiting on the edge of my seat to get that second book, which comes out actually like in February, I think, which is like the month of my birthday. So how amazing is that? So anyways, this is, I think, a YA series by her. I'm not too sure, but I've seen a lot of people say that there's a lot of yearning in this book, and it is definitely a romantasy. And wow, there's artwork in this book. It's gorgeous. I love a book with artwork. I will eat anything up. Even her, When the Moon Hatched had so much beautiful artwork in it as well. So I'll read a little bit of this synopsis. 19 years ago, I was plucked from the heart of a bloody massacre that spared nobody else. Now, ward to a powerful high master who knows too much and says too little, I lead a simple life, never straying from the confines of an imaginary line I've drawn around the castle grounds. Stay within, never leave. Out there, the monsters lurk inside. I'm safe, though at a cost far greater than the blood I drip into a goblet daily. Toxic, unreciprocated love for a man who's utterly unavailable. On the back, it says, what a pretty flower to keep locked in a big rocky tower. Is this like a Rapunzel? This kind of like gives me Rapunzel vibes. I'm curious about this one. It just looks very intriguing. And knowing Sarah A. Parker's writing, it's going to be very like whimsical and beautiful writing. And let me show you the naked hardback of this because it's also stunning. Like that's like the naked hardback. I'm excited to start this one. I have no idea when I'm going to. I think I'm just going to pick it up whenever I have the inkling to. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this on my shelves for sure. We have 2 more books here. This one I bought yesterday, actually. This I bought at Barnes & Noble because it is a local author to me. This is Becca Ann. This is The Bargain with Fate by Becca Ann. This is a signed edition, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know anything about this author. I don't know anything about this book at all, but it looks like a dark romance, potentially a dark fantasy romance. And I just love supporting local authors and indie authors. That's all I really needed to know. And it's pretty short, actually. So that's exciting. It's a Nordic fantasy. And it says that it basically follows a young female Viking who stops at nothing to defend her family and friends while upholding the creed of a secret society known as Odin's Ravens. Unbeknownst to her, Loki, god of mischief, has awakened to reap his prize from the bargain he made for the soul of his wife, Sin. Facing betrayal, heartbreak, and a god that always gets what he wants, Veronica fights for control as her life is upturned by a strange phenomena and existential questions surrounding magic and the beings that wield it. That sounds really good, and I just really wanted to support a local author, and it's a signed edition, which I think is really cool, and I love a short little fantasy book, and I'm curious if it's going to be a series or not, or if this is just like the one book, but I guess we'll find out. I just wanted to give her a little shout out. The very last book that I have is actually this beautiful little book. This is a illustrated Grimm's fairy tale collection. Bought this book because I could see myself reading this to my kids, to be honest. I don't actually know. I've never read really any of the Grimm's fairy tales, so I don't know if they're kid appropriate or not, but this one's illustrated and the paper is like, it's like silky paper, which I love silky paper. And here's just like one of the illustrations. It's just beautiful. There's like your stereotypical fairy tales like Hansel and Gretel and the Little Red Riding Hood, a bunch of like really cool fairy tales in this book. And I just really love it. It's a short collection, so it's not, a bunch of them. It's not overwhelming, and it's very pretty to look at. And I thought about maybe reading one fairy tale a night before bed because they're very short. Each fairy tale looks like it's like 2 to 3 pages in this. So I thought it'd be kind of fun for like spooky season to like read one fairy tale before I go to bed every night. I just really love this. I'm super happy that I bought it. It was like $12, so that was an easy buy. So yeah, that is my book haul for this summer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21 books that we bought, which is not too shabby. So thank you guys so much for being here and spending a little bit of your time with me today. I had so much fun rambling about all these books that I bought. I'm so excited about all of them, and I hope that you got maybe some good recommendations for yourself for this fall season and like coming up on spooky season and everything. So yeah, let me know if you've heard of any of these like new indie authors that I haven't really heard of anybody else talking about. And if you've read any of them, please let me know so we can talk about them. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you guys have been having a wonderful week and a wonderful weekend. And I will see you guys in my next video next Saturday. Bye guys.